Every person who is heading an organization should take this as one of your responsibilities. And what sort of organizational disciplines and organizational culture are you going to evolve? You want to create a super efficient, seamless organization. Then the guy sitting at the top, rather than thinking how to increase my business, how to get more business, says all that has to be done. Lifelong it has to be done. But first I think you need to ask yourself this question. What sort of organizational culture do we have? What sort of organizational culture can I create? What sort of organizational disciplines if I bring in? Let it take 1 year, let it take 2 years, let it take 3 years. What sort of organizational disciplines? A place for everything, a time for everything. How do I achieve this in an organization? And once I create a culture, Sony used to have a culture. Every 21 days a new technology must be introduced. And they discipline entire Sony to that. The entire think tank of Sony is thinking 21 days from now we have to introduce an upgraded technology. It was a discipline. So they kept beating the market and they continued. Even in a segment like photography, where Canon and Nikon has been ruling the rose for so many years, they are nervous right now with the sort of technology Sony is introducing in photography. Suddenly you go and ask any professional photographer, Nikon or Canon, within that, and for the first time in the history of photography, they are saying, I think you should look at Sony. And how did they achieve this? Simply by beating everybody else, by introducing an upgraded technology every 21 days, and it's a discipline. In any product, if you achieve a quantitative threshold, you should go for qualitative upgrade. It's a discipline of every Japanese organization. Have you introduced a Maruti 800 and have you achieved a quantitative threshold? That means you have created a critical mass of satisfied customers. They have no need to buy another product from you because you are already satisfied. The only way now you can, human beings being aspirational in nature, give them a better product from the same brand. Now introduce a Maruti 1000 or a Maruti Esteem to them. Aspirational nature, satisfied with the brand. They will not buy another Maruti 800, but they will go to buy a Maruti Esteem. Introduce full size Dabba Sony television into the market. Get as many people as possible to use Sony. Have they introduced? You've created a sizable customer base. Now introduce Bravia. Sleek, slim, upgraded resolution, smart television. And it's a discipline. Every time you achieve a quantitative threshold of any product in that market, if your business has to continue to grow, then you have to give a qualitative upgrade. Give the next version. Have I actually created a sizable market for me by building apartments? And you still want a lot of these. Human being is aspirational in nature. Desire fulfilled is desire upgraded in a human being. Every human being. This is psyche. Like some of you should get a behavioral scientist involved in your product design itself. Social media is doing this with you. How should I do gated community? Should I do row houses? Should I do independent houses? And a lot of my existing customers will upgrade themselves there. And it's a discipline of look at any Japanese brand. He'll keep giving you upgrades and encash on your brand loyalty that you're always buying another upgraded product from the same brand. Not that the earlier product was not good. Not that you completely used the earlier product. Not that it was not achieving its objective. And yet you'll upgrade yourself to the next version of it. They'll make you upgrade. The power and the potency of the mind can be tapped in only through discipline. Otherwise you're underutilizing a very, very powerful faculty within you. Every person who is heading an organization should take this as one of your responsibilities. And what sort of organizational disciplines and organizational culture are you going to evolve, where even in your absence a lot of things should happen the way it should happen? Things going right with your presence, anybody can do that. Even in your absence, everything should go on. I'm not talking about absence as death. Absence can mean that you're focusing on a lot of other things in life. You're not able to give the sort of time you used to give to your business. But you don't have to once you have evolved. A culture within the organization of certain organizational discipline. So one of the focus for all of you entrepreneurs in this financial year is, you're going to ask yourself this question as an organizational head. What sort of culture and what sort of organization discipline am I going to build into my organization apart from everything else? End of the year, you are not going to measure your success only by your top line and bottom line. You will also measure by the intangible growth in your business, in your organization, which is organization discipline and culture.